2020. So on average po, araw-araw, 2.8 billion pesos po ng mga sahod, mga kita ang nawawala. On average po, ang annual income loss ng isang manggagawa ay 23,000 pesos per worker. However, alam po natin yung ibang sector po hindi po pinapayagan na mag-operate under yung ating community quarantine. At yung iba po nawala na ng trabaho. Kaya yung ibang workers po, mas malaki po ang tama sa kanilang sahod, sa kanilang kita at sa kanilang mga kabuhayan. So ang recommendation po namin ay dapat i-balance po natin. Meron pong nakitang kami survey na ginawa po ng Pulse Asia. Yung September, sabi po ng taong bayan, 39% say that we should balance both the economy and the control of the virus. Pero yung November, yung tumaas po yung hunger rate, 73% na ang nagsasabi na we have to balance the opening of the economy and the control of the virus. So hindi po naman natin sinasabi na ibukas lang natin yung ekonomiya at wag na nating pakialaman yung COVID cases. Kailangan po natin both. At nakita po natin na nagbukas po tayo last October at yung dumaan po yung Christmas vacation, hindi po naman umakyat yung COVID cases. In my concluding slide po, sa IATF meeting last Thursday, we presented the following recommendations which was approved by the IATF, and we hope for your approval also on the following. So given progress on the health side, and no spike in COVID-19 cases from the reopening of the economy last October and the year-end holiday, ang recommendation po namin, number one, we further open the economy to MGCQ for the entire Philippines, especially NCR, starting March 21. And the main reason is gusto na po natin ma-mitigate or mabawasan yung sickness, hunger, poverty, job, and income loss that are arising from non-COVID cases. At kung kailangan, gumamit po tayo ng localized lockdown sa barangay or municipal level to address the local spread of the virus. Yung pangatlo po naman, nakita po namin na kulang po yung public transport natin. So we propose with proper safeguards, i-further expand po natin yung public transport from 50% towards 75% para mas marami po yung makabalik sa kanilang trabaho. Pangalawa po, to complement public transport with active transport support. Ito po yung tulad ng bike lanes kasi marami na pong Pilipino yung nag-shift to biking to work or to avail of their basic commodities when they buy goods. And finally, nakita po namin na kulang po yung inter-province bus operation natin. Marami pong mga manggagawa yung nag-ECQ, bumalik po sila sa probinsya. Ngayon po, hindi po sila makabalik na ganap sa kanilang trabaho. At yung pang-apat po, yung expand the age group allowed to go out. Of course, with safeguards din po. Yung letter A po, yung na-approve niyo na po dati na to conduct pilot face-to-face schooling in the low-risk areas, we are proposing, Mr. President, i-resume natin because nakita po natin na yung COVID cases at yung UK variant ay nakokontrol po natin. Yung pangalawa, and this is subject po to our discussion with the NCR mayors, is to gradually expand the age group allowed to go out. Ngayon po kasi 15 to 65 lang yung pwedeng lumabas. Ang proposal po namin, i-gradual natin yung pag-expand to age 5 to 70. At pwede natin gawing dahan-dahan in increments of 5 years, also with appropriate safeguard. Yung safeguard naman, pwede lang lumabas yung kabataan with their parents only, or initially they can go out to more open areas. At hindi naman ibig sabihin na pupunta sila sa malls. Pero kung pwede pong lumabas yung kabataan with safeguards, it will allow also their parents to work and get a job. So ito po yung aking presentation, Mr. President. At yung conclusion po nito ay kailangan po nating ibalanse yung pagtulong natin sa mga na-infect ng COVID compared also to those who are experiencing hunger na mataas na talaga sa NCR. Kaya po natin kailangan i-further open yung ating economy. So maraming salamat po.
Salamat, Secretary Chua. Now, I think we have reached the final phase of the program. May tanong ako sa iyo. Paano ko... alam ko na alam mo at alam ko ang sagot. Pero tatanungin lang kita nito. Kaya ikaw yung press secretary. Ikaw yung sasagot. Pero kung masagot natin ngayon, anong masabi mo sa statement ni Robredo pati ni Lacson regarding itong BFA na sinabi ko, if they want the BFA to continue, they pay. Itong dalawa, in short, si Robredo said that I was extorting money from, it's like extorting money from a friendly country. And so with Lacson, sinabi niya na ganito. But I think that yung tawag nito, hindi ko alam. Yung text nito, ano ba tawag ng isa? Yung mag-issue ka ng statement dyan. Wala akong alam yan kasi na marunong. Na it was deleted. Anong masasabi mo sa ano?
Well, Mayor, sinagot ko po sila kanina sa aking press briefing. Ang sinabi ko sa larangan ng international law, meron po tayong prinsipyo na a state can incur state responsibility kapag pinayagan niyang gamitin yung teritoryo niya sa isang pamamaraan na makakasira sa ibang estado. Sa ngayon po, in-explain ko ang pulisiya natin, independent foreign policy, lahat kaibigan, wala tayong kalaban. Pero dahil sa presensya po ng mga tropang Amerikano sa Pilipinas, at nagkaroon ng hidwaan sa panig ng China at ng Pilipinas, sigurado po tatargetin natin ng Amerika ang teritoryo natin, ng China ang teritoryo natin dahil pinayagan natin ang presensya ng mga Amerikano at kanilang sandata dito sa Pilipinas. At dahil nga po sa danyos na po pwede nating pagbayaran sa presensya ng mga Amerikano sa ating Pilipinas, dapat lamang na mayroon pong kabayaran ang mga Amerikano para manatili dito sila sa Pilipinas. At pinakita ko po, meron pong isang pag-aaral na pinakita at ang conclusion, napakaliit po talaga ng nakukuha ng Pilipinas. Historically, bagamat tayo po talaga ang kanilang unsinkable warship sa Asia. At ang comparison po ay between the Philippines and Pakistan. Ang Pilipinas, panahon pa po ng Death March, kaalyado na tayo ng mga Amerikano. And yet, dun po sa datos na pinakita ko kanina, $3 billion lang po ang nakukuha natin in terms of counterterrorism support from the United States. Ikukumpara po natin to sa bansa na gaya ng Pakistan. Ang Pakistan po, $13.6 billion ang naibigay ng mga Amerikano. Ikumpara po natin sa Turkey, ganun din po, halos 5 beses ang binibigay nila para manatili yung kanilang mga sundalo at ang mga militar sa kanilang bansa. Doon po sa issue na extortion, ang sabi ko, hindi po masama na dahil marami po tayong mga pangangailangan sa COVID para mabigyan ng implementasyon ng universal healthcare, ang libreng patubig, ang libreng tuition, hindi po masama na humanap tayo ng alternatibong mga pagkakukulunan ng pondo para po gastusin sa pangangailangan ng ating mga kababayan at hindi po yan extortion that is advancing the national interest.
To add to your statement, actually, ito naman si Robredo, abogado. I can't forgive Lacson because he is not. They should look at the Constitution. The Constitution of the Philippines provides that the foreign relations or foreign policy is vested in the President alone. Siya yung kaisa-isang well, I happen to be there. Kaisa-isang ano ang policy gusto niyang ipalabas for the Philippines is vested in the President and not with the senators or the Vice President. So, at least, yung sabi nila na extortion, well, I can forgive Robredo. Every time she opens her mouth, talagang when she forgets that she's a lawyer, and being a lawyer, she should know that the Constitution says that that is my function. It is not their function. At kung anong gusto kong sabihin para sa aking bayan, may purpose yan. Hindi kasi nila alam. Na alam ko noon na meron tayong binili na armas sa Amerika, it took them years to deliver. Practically using the money, our money, for so many years, then delivering the bago lang itong mga armas na dumadating. And second, itong Congress ng United States, magbili tayo ng helicopter, they denied because they say that we cannot use it against, well anyway, ayaw nila tayong pabigyan. Yan ang hindi alam kasi ng itong, I don't know, I don't, it's pretended ignorance kay Lacson, but itong kay Robredo, sabi ko nga, ma'am, kung ikaw ang presidente, hindi mo alam ang trabaho mo, huwag ka na lang dapat alam mo yan, abogado ka, that you should not be opening your mouth while we are negotiating because maraming kasalanan ang Amerika sa atin. Ang pagkaalam mo lang kasi, napunta ka ng Amerika, nagsalita ka doon, you were treated with almost as a royalty. Tapos ito ang nangyari ngayon, kakampi ka na walang rason. Wala hong, lahat dito sa babundong ito may hindi pera ang gusto kong hingiin sa kanila. Ganito yan ma'am, pati Senator Lacson. Tayo malapit sa China. The theater of war, kung mag-umpisa man, is dito sa China Sea. Ngayon, gusto nga natin, pinipilit natin na Amerikano tayo, we should be provided with the arms and armaments that's capable of at least that would place us on equal footing with the other countries at war with us. Kasi titirahin talaga tayo ng China. Ngayon, wala naman ang Amerikano, wala binibigay. You know, I have talked to so many military guys. Sabi nila, yung war games, it's coming, I think, on May. Ang Amerikano, magdala dito ng mga armas, mag-display sila ng mga equipments and everything. Tapos, ng war games, dinadala nila doon sa, tinuturuan nila ang Pilipino paano gumamit during the war games, and then after that, they go home and bring back their equipment. So, nandyan alam ni General Lorenzana yan. Yan ang lamentations ng Pilipino. Yan ang hindi alam ni Robredo. Ang pagkaalam kasi ni Robredo, parang we are nothing wrong with America and the Philippines. Hindi niya alam na kaya ikaw, ma'am, I'm sorry to say, you are not really qualified to run for president. You do not know your role in this government. Yung foreign relations with other countries is vested on the president alone. Kaya hindi mo alam kung mapangyayari nung una, antecedent or precedent na may ginagawa itong mga Amerikano, parang tingin natin, outpost Ma'am, alam mo ba, ma'am, as a president, do you know that there are so many depots, the OBS depots, maraming mga armas dito na nakalagay sa Pilipinas ang Amerika. And do you know that they are slowly converting Subic into an American base? Yan ang hindi mo alam at hindi, wala ka sigurong alam. Kaya huwag kang mag-alam, huwag kang magsalita. These are the things that are known to us because I have the reports and I have also the assessments given to me by the Armed Forces of the Philippines. At sinasabi nila kung ano talaga, what's the deal? Anong binigay ng Amerikano? Gawain lang tayong outpost, tapos mag-pro-American ka. Pagputok, ang unang siguro, tanungin kita, kung magsagot ka ngayon, ang unang matamaan kung magkagera ang Amerikano pati Philippines? Alam mo? Kung hindi mo alam, sabihin ko sa iyo, the meltdown will start in Palawan. It's the province that's facing the Spratly and everything there. Kaya hindi mo lang alam, in a worst case scenario, kung may isang gago dyan na magpaputok ng isang rocket, gulo na yan. And the Philippines invariably would be drawn into the vortex of a conflict that is called war. Ngayon, ang mga stations ng Amerikano, tinanggal nga natin yung basis agreement. I would like to read sa necrological services ni Siga. A statement niya why he voted to oust America from the bases. Dapat ito, Bicolano yun si Siga eh. I would address this to the Vice President. Excerpt from the speech of the late Senator Vic Ziga during the Senate voting on the U.S. Bases Treaty on September 16, 1991. He said, and I quote, "I refuse to ride on the crest of a fleeting popularity. I refuse to be deceived by fancy rhetoric and cheap propaganda. I refuse to sacrifice our national interest in exchange for a bundle of vague promises. Rather, Mr. President, I choose to continue to work for what I believe is right and just for our country. I therefore submit my action to the lasting judgment of history with my conscience and firm conviction as my cause. I vote to the non-concurrence and no, a conscientious no to the treaty." Taga Bicol yun, ma'am, at baka may, it says or. Wala kang alam, sabihin mo lang na extortion. How can you say extortion? Nakaraming utang ng Amerikano sa atin, hindi pa tayo nabayaran, tapos sabihin mo extortion. May kinakabahan ako if by chance mapresidente ka. Medyo ako, basta pagka retired na ako dyan, kung mapresidente ka. I said, if by unfortunate chance you become the president, please study more. I think that you need a refresher course sa law. That is my advice to you. You do not use this word, mga extortion. When we say you pay, dapat talaga magbayad. Ang tingin mo sa ano ito? Tingin mo sa Pilipinas, koloni ng Amerika? Basta libre na lang lahat. Lahat ba? Tayo, kung may ano, bayad tayo. And we are at the mercy of the Americans, whatever they say. That visiting forces agreement may or may not continue depending on how the Americans would behave towards us. Hindi sabihin na pag sinabi nila, sige, yun na kaagad. I think you should, if I were you, kung hindi ka manalo, you migrate to America and become an American citizen. And you can freely use the word extortion. How can that be extortion when you ask for a payment? Extortion. Maningil ka para sa bayan mo, extortion. The statement of Senator Siga during at that time, ito maganda ito, I therefore submit my action to the lasting judgment of history with my conscience and firm conviction as my cause. I vote yes to the non-concurrence and no, a consensus no to the treaty. May isa tayong who was a great senator sa Bicol. Mabutit na lang. Ewan ko. Pero yun na lang po. Salamat sa iyo. Ito naman kay Lacson. Anong tawag dito? Twitter. Hindi ka magamit ang aking. Ngayon Nokia pa rin eh. Twitter. May sinabi rin siya na parang ganito rin, in the same fashion, in the same ni Robredo. Kaya lang dinilit niya, tinanggal. Probably he realized that the senators have no function at all in the matter of agreements dito sa it's vested with the president and it does not need any concurrence from Congress. So the power to abrogate the visiting forces agreement nandito sa akin. I don't know. Kasi kung magkagera tapos mag-nuclear war, tapos nandito yung armas, nandito dyan sa Subic yung mga barko ng Amerikano, what do you think will happen to Bicol? It's too far away, but it will also melt just like what would happen to the rest of the Philippines. It will reduce us into a barren land where you cannot plant anything except wait to die. The way to die, rather. Alam na, siguro si Lacson na alam niya na tinanggal niya. Pero ito sabihin ko kay Ping, you have been a very cunning and sa mga statement mo. Yung pa-slide mo sa mga sabihin ko sa iyo, and so many other things in the past where you were wrong, bihin ko sa iyo na you have nothing to do with this. I may accept your comments, but please use it in a way total hindi naman ito use your use a language that will promote your person, your human being. Hindi yung basta-basta ka na lang mag-post-post dyan tapos without really finding out whether you are a part of it or not. Telling you are not. So next time, consult a lawyer in your office. And to the Filipino people, maraming salamat po.